Hello everyone, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming potential tropical cyclone that's going to be hitting parts of the mid-Atlantic. But before we could get into this video, I would ask you to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and make sure to share this video with any friends or family who might be interested in watching daily weather forecasts. But anyways, let's get right into this video. So right now we are looking at my forecast so far for this potential tropical cyclone. I have highlighted certain areas of the East Coast and the Mid-Atlantic, mostly in that purple area. That's where you could see potential for some landfall on this land here. Where pretty much that area where it's highlighted in pink. That's where you can see potential landfall. We're going to look at the models here in a second, but pretty much that whole area, this low pressure is going to develop just to the northeast of Miami today. Has developed already, and that's going to head north. It does say, most of the models do say it will kind of make landfall over parts of the East Coast there for North Carolina and Virginia, and even parts of possibly New Jersey, and then it'll mostly get caught by the jet stream, and then it'll head mostly east. Now, some models do say that it will head into kind of the mid-Atlantic there. I do not think that will happen. Definitely, it's still a potential there. We'll have to wait till tomorrow to see what the updates are there. Let's go ahead and look at the models here for this potential tropical cyclone. Alright, so we're looking at the NAM 3 kilometer right now. We're going to look at several different others. So, but this is what the NAM 3 kilometer model says. So, like I said, this low is going to develop kind of northeast of Miami. And then over that, it'll be heading north. You see here, very slowly moving until you get around Sunday, early morning hours. Then it starts to really start to move northward. Could see some possible landfall around Monday morning for parts of North Carolina. Mostly the threats for that are going to be some decent heavy rain. A couple inches of rain are possible within there. And then it keeps making landfall, getting into around the midday hours of Monday, and then kind of gets caught by the jet stream there and starts to head eastward into the Atlantic Ocean. And you can look at the GFS model here. The GFS model does agree a bit with the NAM 3 kilometer model. So that low develops around northeast of Miami. That heads northward around Monday. Hits the North Carolina, well, makes landfall for parts of North Carolina and Virginia around midday Monday. You get into around Tuesday, and there is still a little bit of some landfall in parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, that type of area. But then that gets caught kind of by the jet stream. This is actually saying the GFS model does say it will make a very little bit of landfall, possibly for the New York area, but you're mostly going to see some very light rain from that. And then also even Rhode Island, you can see some possible landfall. And then that weakens around the Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts area there. So definitely some pretty good different chances. Here's the CMC model. Of course, the lows were definitely, this has already developed, but the low develops northeast of Miami. That heads northward, and it does make some landfall for the North Carolina, kind of the Virginia area there. Heads northward, and it does does head eastward around Tuesday, midday Tuesday, and then heads into the Atlantic. So the CMC model does have some potential for some landfall. And lastly, the Icon model here does agree a little bit with the CMC model. and then that heads northward again. Pretty heavy rainfall actually in the North Carolina area when it makes landfall. And for the very eastern part of Virginia, you do have some pretty decent rainfall amounts. So pretty much North Carolina is going to be the main threat for this tropical system. Also Maryland, you could have some definitely some landfall, and then it heads eastward by the time it gets to around New Jersey for Tuesday. Now we can actually look at the potential paths and what kind of category of a tropical cyclone this is going to reach. We're looking at the infrared satellite right now. You can really start to see this kind of take part, those storms, those more heavier thunderstorms in the middle of that low pressure really start to take part in those darker reds and red colors. Those are the main thunderstorms, and then mostly in those yellows, oranges, greens, and blues, that's mostly just some decent light to moderate rainfall within there. Let's go ahead and look at the surface plot here. Now, this is where it's showing you kind of the meters here, and you can see that where the low is, that's just to the northeast of Miami, and pretty much this is just gonna go northward. It definitely is gonna go northward here. It's not gonna be going this way or anything, but we're very confident in it going northward and making landfall in the North Carolina area. So North Carolina, you're definitely gonna have to watch out for this one. It's not gonna be like a major hurricane or anything, but definitely you could see some possibly localized flash flooding, and definitely a big riptide risk for parts of eastern, kind of the east coast of Florida, and even into the east coast of Georgia. You do have a decent riptide risk, or rip current risk, not a riptide risk. Here's the this is the model track guidance. Now most of them have them going. It's gonna make landfall in parts of North Carolina and Virginia there. Then by the time it gets to around there, it'll make a sudden turn and then head mostly eastward. And some do actually have it going, making very sudden turn right towards Virginia, and then that heads into kind of that Virginia, Kentucky area there. But it looks like most models are agreeing that it's going to make landfall in the North Carolina, Virginia area, and then head kind of like in that eastward direction. So let's go ahead and look at our GFS and symbols. Now, this is pretty different than the last one. So mostly they are agreeing that this is definitely going to go northward. This is not going to go anywhere over there, but definitely this will go northward, make landfall in North Carolina and Virginia. And for the GEFS tracks, mostly does have those tracks going into the mid-Atlantic there, but of course there's some going eastward, and this is why I'm pretty sure this is pretty confident in this going eastward, because you can look at the CMC models also. That is in agreement with the actual global plus hurricane models for the model track guidance there, and that they are agreeing that this is going to head this is going to make landfall in the North Carolina, Virginia area, and then it's going to make a turn to the east and head kind of in that eastern, and it'll head mostly in the middle of the Atlantic there, and then just pretty much dissipate once it gets to around there. Finally, we have the intensity guidance here. So it looks like this will turn into a tropical storm. There's one that says it won't be turning into a tropical storm, but definitely most of them do come up into a tropical storm here, and then weaken very fast once they get to kind of their peak strongest there. Also, one actually has it going as a tropical storm, and then suddenly just pretty much disintegrating within the Atlantic Ocean there. If you did enjoy this video, I would ask you that you do subscribe to the channel if you are interested in watching daily weather forecasts, and make sure to share this video with any friends or family that might be also interested in watching daily weather forecasts. But anyways, stay safe.